Hello beauties, my name is Jet. Welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to be reviewing Thinx underwear. So I've been using Thinx underwear for a few years now. These are one of my favorite. This is the, what is this? This is the high-waisted regular, or this is a high-waisted one that's supposed to hold 2 tampons worth of blood. And usually I use these on my light days, or I use them as a backup to my menstrual disc. So these are supposed to be hold 2 tampons worth of blood, but I never felt comfortable just wearing this on a moderate day, because I felt sometimes it just wasn't enough to support what I needed. So using it as a backup or on my light days is perfect, and I love these for that reason. These are super comfortable, and I love that they're high-waisted, so I feel really supported in them. Yeah, these have like a little mesh on the sides, and then the absorbent part goes from here to here. I don't know how well that reads on camera, but the absorbent part is it's kind of nice. So even like sleeping overnight with it as a backup or on a lighter day is really great. I had bought a bunch. I had bought a bunch of these. I bought some high-waisted ones, and then I had bought ones that have the mesh on top. And I don't recommend getting those because those broke down really quickly. Not super quickly, but these have. I bought them around the same time, and all of the ones that have the mesh part over here has like a mesh, like a little strip of mesh on the top. Those eventually the mesh broke apart, and I had to throw them all out. So I don't recommend getting those, but these have been pretty good and they've lasted a long time. So the Thinx company recently came out with a new underwear. I don't know, I bought them like a few months ago probably. So I've had some time to test those out. And I really wanted to get those because just for days that I didn't feel like wearing anything internally, I wanted to have something that I could, it would be awesome to wear something like just period underwear for my heavy days. I think that would just feel really freeing and nice to just bleed into underwear and not have to, worry so much. So these are the ones that I got. Don't mind, these are wet right now, but it's just water. I am editing this video, and I did a little experiment with these. So they're wet, but don't worry about it. Okay, so these are the cotton. Which ones are these? Oh yeah, okay, so these are the cotton, the super cotton brief. So these are supposed to hold up to 4 tampons worth of blood. So similarly, these also have like this much surface area. I guess that's like kind of like pad size. These are much thicker in this area than the 2 tampons worth. This is pretty thin, actually. It doesn't really feel like you're wearing anything like bulky or anything. This is a little bit bulkier, but it's still really comfortable to wear just because it is one, this part doesn't stick out or anything. It's very comfortable to wear, but it is a bit thicker, which I like because I want to feel like supported in that way. So in terms of experience, my personal experience wearing these, this is going to vary person to person depending on how much you bleed. On my heaviest day, I tend to be a very heavy bleeder. So that's why I was really excited to try this, but I can't say that it lived up to my expectations, unfortunately. I wore these one day for 4 hours. So they say they hold up to 4 tampons worth of blood, and I haven't worn a tampon probably over 10 years. But even on my heaviest days, I think I wouldn't go through a tampon in an hour. It would probably, I think a tampon would last a bit longer than that. So I wore these for 4 hours on my heaviest day, and after 4 hours, I already felt like it was leaking through the sides. So it didn't hold up for that. I would not feel comfortable wearing these as the only thing that I'm wearing on my heaviest day to be out and about. If I'm home, like whatever, I can change the underwear. That's like one of the things that the downsides of these period panties is that you have to change your entire underwear when it becomes full, rather than just changing out like a cup or a disc or a pad. So still like on my heaviest days, my favorite thing to wear is a pad, is a reusable pad. I like a company from Etsy called Yurtcraft. Um, I like that, and then you just take the pad off, and then you can put another pad on and continue with your day. You don't have to like worry about taking your entire, your underwear off, which isn't so convenient to do. Um, Yeah, so these are pretty comfortable. I think if I order these again, I will get the high. I think when I ordered these, they still didn't have the high-waisted ones, high-waisted and super that holds 4 tampons worth of blood. I think that will be my next purchase. But I do like these, and I will wear these on my moderate days, which is awesome because I didn't feel like the other period panties that I had were didn't I wouldn't be able to use them for a moderate day, but these I can wear for a moderate day. So if they come out with like a super 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 plus overnight one, then maybe I could wear that on my heaviest day, but this isn't for my heaviest day. But on a moderate day, I think these are really great. I don't know, when they say like a period is about 2 tablespoons worth of blood. Have you heard that before? That's like ridiculous. I mean, if your period is like that, that's awesome. Like the entire period is 2 tablespoons worth of blood. That's insane. Like that is not me at all. Anyway, these are very comfortable to wear. I really like them. I like them for, like I said, for a moderate day. So these are some of the claims that Thinx company makes. So one, that is super absorbent, and I think it is absorbent. I don't know about super absorbent. They say that, yeah, super absorbent. Okay, I'll give them that it's super absorbent. I don't know, compared to like other things, it may not be the most absorbent, but it's pretty good. So the second claim that they make is that it wicks away moisture, and I think that's to a certain degree. Like if you are on a light day or maybe a moderate day and there's enough capacity to actually whisk away the moisture, then I think it works well. But once it starts to get full, like you definitely feel the moisture. I know when I was wearing this for 4 hours, by hour 3, I was already feeling like uncomfortable and I was feeling the moisture. So it's not like it completely wicks away the moisture always, like you're always going to feel dry, because if it gets, once it starts to fill up, you are going to feel the moisture, unfortunately. Um, and then it says it controls odor. I wish they said they're not very specific. I guess they're trying to protect whatever technology they use in their in their underwear, but they say that it controls odor, and because if you're wearing this for a full day on a moderate day, by the end of the day there is going to be an odor. It's just a warm, damp environment that breeds bacteria, like odor causing bacteria. So I don't know what they have in here that they say controls odor, but I have not found that to be the case at all. If you are able to change it regularly, I wouldn't last more than 4 hours, unless it's like a light day and I'm using it just as a backup. I wouldn't wear it for more than 4 hours because of that. I don't find that it does control odors at all, unless you're wearing it just like a short amount of time. Then you're good. But if you're wearing it for like a full 8 hours, I don't find that it does anything like that. I mean, I'm curious to see if they have like, if it has like silver in it or like copper, like what would be in there that controls odor, because I don't think it has any of those things in there. And then prevents leaks. And prevents leaks, is that true? I don't think that's true. By the time when I was wearing this for 4 hours, there was like there were definitely leaks. Like it was coming like the it was on my thighs pretty much. What doesn't prevent I mean, it prevents leaks if it's not full, but it's not like it gets full and then you can, it'll contain the leaks. It doesn't. If it gets too full, it will not prevent leaks. But it does have like a waterproof lining, so it will prevent leaks to an extent, right? If you're wearing it within your capacity, if you're having a moderate day and you're wearing this, you should be good. But if it fills up, it's not going to like contain the leaks if it's just overflowing. I mean, I guess that makes sense. But yeah, so it does have a waterproof lining. All right, so I'm going to do a little experiment here. It's not very scientific at all. I'm using an Instead soft cup. They hold up to 5 tampons worth of blood. So I filled this cup about 3/4 of the way. Not exactly 4 tampons worth, but close enough. I'm not great at math. I think if I put 4 tampons in here, I think just in my mind it makes sense that they would absorb all the water. But this isn't very scientific at all, so take it with a grain of salt. All right, so here we have the Thinx underwear. I'm just going to pour this water onto here. Water is, of course, a different consistency than the menstrual fluid, so this isn't super accurate. This is just to give an idea of its capacity. So you see that the water is not absorbing immediately. Maybe that's the wicking technology that they're referring to. Thankfully, I have not found this to be the case when I'm actually wearing them. I find that they absorb menstrual fluid just fine. It doesn't feel like it's just sitting on top. So that's good. So Thinx claims that these absorb 4 tampons, but I'm wondering if they calculate that based on the entire surface area that is absorbent. Of course, when you're actually wearing the Thinx underwear, you're bleeding into a smaller area. You're not bleeding into the entire absorbent area. A lot of the absorbent area remains dry when you're actually using them. So they also claim that it keeps you feeling dry, but you can see here that it's wet. It doesn't really trap the moisture under the top layer. After about 3 hours of wearing them, I definitely felt wet. So you saw that that it didn't immediately absorb. Maybe that's the material doesn't absorb immediately. Maybe they were hoping that once the menstrual fluid gets through the top layer, that it kind of keeps the top layer dry, but I don't think it works that efficiently. All right, so you can see that it is absorbing, but after it's reached a certain level, it does become full, and for me, it started leaking out of the sides. So yeah, I'm just going to pour this whole cup in here. I do think it would absorb. I do think it would absorb everything if I was spreading it over the entire absorbable area of the underwear, but that's not necessarily where the blood is going, unless maybe you wear it to bed and you sleep face down. Maybe that would be these would be perfect for that. So this is now holding about 4 tampons worth of blood, and it is very wet, and if you squeeze it, it will leak. So it's not being fully absorbed into the material. It's coming out, and you're going to feel wet at this point if you were wearing it. At this point, it's going to be leaking out the sides, especially if you were sitting down and putting pressure on it. That's what happened to me when I was wearing it. After the 4 hours, it was leaking out of the sides. So personally, I wouldn't feel comfortable. I wouldn't trust it to hold 4 tampons worth of blood. I would feel comfortable wearing it for 2 tampons worth of blood. So I think for a medium day, these are just perfect. Some tips on using Thinx underwear. They say that it's simple to care for, just throw it in your wash. I would not just take these off and throw them in my laundry bin. I don't recommend doing that. I definitely recommend washing it first, because they one of the Q&As that they have on their website is, if you throw it in your laundry, if you wash it with your other clothes, isn't it gonna get blood on your other clothes? And they say nope is their answer, nope, and then they go into an explanation, but that's just not true. Maybe if you throw it into your laundry when there's right before you wash it, then it's fine. But if you're not doing laundry immediately, then I wouldn't do it, because you're gonna get blood on your other clothes just from layers of things going on here. So I would definitely wash these before you put them in the wash and you're in your laundry bin. What I do is I fully wash it until it runs as clear as possible. Sometimes you feel like you're washing it forever and it doesn't feel like it gets clear, but I make it as clear as possible. After some time, I give up. And then what I do is I pour hydrogen peroxide. Hydrogen peroxide is great because it gets rid of any stains, but it doesn't matter with these because they're black, so you wouldn't see any stains on them anyway. But it gets rid of odor-causing bacteria, so that when it is in your laundry, there's not this smell coming out of your laundry. Real talk here. So what I do is I hand wash it and then I put some hydrogen peroxide and I let it dry so that it's not sitting wet in my laundry bin. I let it dry and then I throw it into my laundry bin. And then when I wash it, it comes out great. And you don't want to put them in your dryer. I feel like I'm the kind of person that needs to be told why I need to be explained why. When they say don't put it in the dryer, I think there is they don't really explain it. They just said it can break down the material over time, or but there is, like, I think the waterproof layer in here is sensitive to heat. Correct me if I'm wrong. I'm not 100% sure of that. I think I read that somewhere. So don't put it in your dryer, but just hang dry. And this one does take a long time to dry because it is pretty thick. So it does take a while to dry. So take that into account. Yeah, I think that's it. I really like that they have these Thinx underwear, and they're really great for certain things. I guess the downside is it's still not, the technology is still not there for super heavy bleeders or like on a super heavy day. But they're awesome otherwise. I highly recommend getting them. The high-waisted ones, like I said, I super recommend these. I think they're really cute and they're really comfortable, and yeah, these are my favorites. So my next purchase, like I said, will be the super absorbency one in the high-waisted. Let's see, what else? I think that's it. Yeah, that's it. So thank you so much for watching my video, and I'll catch you on the next one.